रसिका भुवि भावुकाः नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ततोर्वक्प्रतिलब्धाक्ष का पार्थवेत् उत्थितः कृच्छ्रात् उन्मील्य वै दृष्टिर् आचेष्टिदं सहात्मना। So transliteration. ततः then arvak externally pratilabdha akshaha having revived his consciousness ka Brahma Lord Brahma Paretavat just like a dead man Uthitaha stood up Richrat with great difficulty Unmilya opening up. Why? Indeed Drishtihi his eyes Achashta he saw Idam this universe Sahatmana along with him. Translation, please repeat. Lord Brahma's external consciousness, please repeat, then revived. He stood up just like a dead man coming back to life. Opening his eyes with great difficulty, he saw the universe along with himself. Purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charananda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We actually do not die. At the death, we are merely kept inert for some time just during sleep. At night, we sleep and all our activities stop. But as soon as we arise, our memory immediately returns and we think, oh, where am I? What do I have to do? This is called Sushuptoptita Jnaya. Suppose we die. Die means that we become inert for some time and then again begin our activities. This takes place life after life according to our karma or activities and swabhava or nature by association. Now, in the human life, we are preparing ourselves by beginning the activity of our spiritual life. We return to our real life and attain perfection. Otherwise, according to karma, swabhava, prakriti, and so on, our varieties of life and activity continue. So also do our birth and death. As explained by Bhaktivinoda Thakura, Mayaravase Yachabise Kachu Habu Du Bhubai. My dear brothers, why are you being washed away by the waves of Maya? One should come to the spiritual platform and then one's activities will be permanent. Krita Punya Punjaha. This stage is attained after one accumulates the results of pious activities for many, many lives. Janma Koti Sukrudair Nalabhyate. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhyalila 8.70. The Krishna conscious movement wants to stop Koti Janma, repeated birth and death. In one birth, one should rectify everything and come to permanent life. This is Krishna consciousness. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurinmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Supadantikam Vandeham Sri Gurun Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sakhagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parjana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Yevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Nityanamine Namacharya Padaya Tekpapadaya Gaurakata Ramadaya Nagara Gramatarine Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yatkripatmaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Mishram Kathanchana Smrite Yasmin Dushkaram Sukaram Bhavet Smrite Pritam Syat Sri Chaitanyam Namamitam. Hare Krishna. So, in yesterday's verse, we were seeing that how Brahma was completely bewildered, and then he was initially seeing the different forms of Vishnu, and then he lost his ability to even perceive. That was explained in yesterday's verse. And in today's verse, we are seeing that the Lord, it was explained in yesterday's verse, that the Lord actually, he lifted the veil of Yogamaya, which was covering Brahma, due to which he was bewildered. And in today's verse, we are seeing that Brahma is actually waking up to external consciousness, and then he is able to see himself, and he is also able to see the whole universe. It says that Achashta idam sahatmanam. Idam is this universe, and the sahatmanam is himself. So, Prabhupada starts the purport with a very revolutionary statement. He says, actually we do not die. It makes a very revolutionary statement. He says, actually we do not die. This is a very important statement to meditate upon, because the material world, everybody thinks that with death everything is finished. That there's a whole philosophy. It's called live fast, die young. There's a whole philosophy in the material world, that you live a fast life means that as much as sense enjoyment is possible to enjoy, you quickly enjoy all the sense enjoyment, and then before the body becomes old or invalid or starts giving trouble, you simply die. Because the idea is that by death everything is finished. So then such foolish philosophies are being preached. Prabhupada says that death means that it's like sleep, that you sleep for some time during night, but death means it is just longer sleep. Then one has to wake up. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityur dhruvam janma mrutasya cha. That if one is born, then he is sure to die. If one dies, then he is sure to be born again. So these are all sure. But what happens in between, there could be multiple variations according to one's karma and according to one's good fortune. There could be multiple variations of what happens and what doesn't happen. But it is sure that one will be born and one will die, and one has to take one body, go through certain experiences in one body, leave that body, and then take another body. Vasamsi jirnani yata vihaya navani grihnati naroparani tata sarirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. Navani dehi means that one has to take a new body, whether that will be another material body or whether that will be a spiritual body. it depends upon the activities one performs in one's lifetime, that what kind of activities one performs. So Prabhupada in this purport actually explains both the concepts. The concept of attaining one material body, which depends upon one's karma, one's swabhava and one's prakriti and so on, is very nicely explained in Bhagavad Gita by Krishna, that how the conditioned soul, he leaves from one body and then he takes another body. Krishna explains that yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajattante kalevaram tam tam yevaiti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavitaha, that whatever state of being one has at the time he leaves his body, according to that state of being one attains another material body. So this is for sure that he attains. So how that happens, this is also explained by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita very nicely. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that Vayor Gandhan Yuvasayat. That's like the aroma or the smell is carried by the air to the nose. Just like that, the desire of the jiva, it actually carries him from one body to another body. And that body is again assembly of different type of senses which he may have had from the previous body. Sostram chakshuspashanam cha rasanam granam eva cha adhishtaya manaschayam vishayanupasevate. That he has certain desires to have certain type of sensory experiences which he has developed from his previous bodies, multiple bodies. This is called karma and swabhava. So he has developed these things, strong mental impressions, samskaras, according to his lifetimes and experiences in previous bodies, and according to the activities which are performed and experiences which are gone through in the three stages of mental consciousness, which is called Jagrata, Swapna and Shushupti. The Jagrata means the awakening state, where a person is awake and then he understands that I am this body, and then he acts according to his understanding of the body. Like for example, a dog has a dog body, and then it somehow understands that it is a dog, and then it says bow, bow, bow. A cat has a cat body, and then it somehow understands that I am a cat, and then he says meow, meow. The cat doesn't say bow, bow, the dog doesn't say meow, meow. So this is called a Jagrata stage, that according to the body which they have received, they act in the consciousness of the body. This is called the Jagrata stage. And then there is Swapna stage, means this is the stage of mental activity where there are no gross activities visible. Like a person is sleeping, and in the sleep he sees a golden mountain, and then he is very happy that all my difficulty is gone because I have found this golden mountain, and from this golden mountain I can excavate any amount of gold and I will be the richest man in the world. Tata bye-bye to Bill Gates, Tata bye-bye to Warren Buffett. Now all these guys have to come at my door and beg because I have a golden mountain. So he is so happy that I have found this golden mountain. But when he wakes up, then he sees that there is no gold nor mountain. But in the state of dream, he found the golden mountain and he was extremely happy, and he experienced that happiness of possessing a golden mountain. But this was not a truth which he could experience when he is awake. It's simply a situation which is created by mind. So this is called Swapna, or the dream state. And then there is a third state which Prabhupada explains here, which is called Shushupti. Shushupti means deep sleep. And in the deep sleep, there is neither the perceiving of the gross body nor the perceiving of the subtle body, which means that there is neither activities which are pertaining to the gross body, nor there are activities like dreaming which are pertaining to the subtle body. Then this state of Sushupti is explained as deep sleep, and in different places in Upanishads it is explained that how this state is attained. Sometimes it is said this state is attained by the entrance through the nerves. Sometimes it is explained that this state is attained by the covering of the heart, and sometimes this stage is explained as resting on the Brahman. So these are different explanations which are given in different scriptures, that what is Sushupti, and then there is elaborate description of Sushupti, or there is a discussion of Sushupti, the stage of Sushupti in the Vedanta Sutra, that what Sushupti actually means and how these different stages are actually connected, whether they are same or whether they are interconnected or whether they are choices which are available. Anyway, ultimately the living entity, he simply wakes up from the deep sleep. He goes through the state of dream, and then again he wakes up to the state of gross activity. So all these three states, they are simply called as manasa vritti, or simply the activities of the mind. And through these activities of the mind, one simply goes from one body to another body, going from one lifetime of Brahma to another lifetime of Brahma, accepting multiple bodies and creating multiple impressions, and also accumulating so much of karma. So this is going on and on and on and on and on. That is why the jiva is called as Nitya Baddha, eternally conditioned. It looks as if he was never free. It looks as if he has always been in this material world. It looks as if he has been acting through these three states of Jagrata, Swapna and Sushupti. But it is not true, because there is a fourth state of consciousness which is called Turiya, or the consciousness is called Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada explains very nicely in the purport. He is actually quoting Bhaktivinoda Thakur's song, Miche Maya Vase Yacha Bise Kachu Habudu Bubai Radha Krishna Bol Bol Bolo Re Sobhai. So very nicely Bhaktivinoda Thakur is singing that please chant the names of Radha and Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. My dear brother, why are you being carried away by the waves of Maya? My spiritual master, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, I was living in Dubai, and then he came and he was giving class one time in Dubai, and then he was singing this song. He was saying, Miche Maya Vase Yacha Bise Kacha Habu Dubai. He was saying that this whole Dubai is Maya, and you are living in Maya, and you are thinking that living in Dubai, oh, I am living in Dubai, I am so comfortable, I have big car, I have nice roads, I have multi-story building, and I am living here, I am earning so much of money, but this is all Maya. This is all Maya, that which is not. The existence of mind, manasa vritti. So very nicely he was singing this song. So this song is my favorite song, because in one song he actually smashed the whole, this glamour of the lifestyle of materialism. So here Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying that one has to wake up and chant the holy names of Krishna. And Prabhupada actually quotes here, this part is very interesting, because one should come to spiritual platform, then one's activities will be permanent. So this spiritual platform or the consciousness which is beyond these three stages, which is the awakening, the dreaming and the deep sleep, beyond these three stages, the activities of the original activities of the soul proper, this is actually called Krishna consciousness. Because in these three stages of sleeping, awakening and dream, the soul simply does not fully understand his identity. He thinks that I am something else. He thinks that he is his upadhis. Upadhi means what has been accepted as a designation. For example, in the scripture, the example is given that there is a white crystal and then there is a red lotus. If a red lotus is placed near a white crystal, and then because of the redness of the lotus, the white crystal starts behaving like a red crystal. So for all practical purposes, the white crystal has now become a red crystal. because of the placement of the lotus near the scripture, near the crystal. But the question is it a red crystal or a white crystal? The answer is, it is indeed a white crystal. But it is practically behaving like a red crystal because of the presence of the lotus, which has the redness. The redness of the lotus is accepted by the crystal as its own quality, while it is not its quality. So this is called upadhi. So this accepting of a quality which is not its own, this is called upadhi. For example, the spirit soul has accepted the quality of the body, which is not his own. He thinks that I will die. He thinks that by death everything will be finished. He thinks that there is a virus in the air and this virus will catch me. And if it catches me, I am finished. Everything is gone. My life is destroyed. So he thinks that I should shut down everything. I should go and hide in a bunker. But the fact is that the virus is also a spirit soul and I am also a spirit soul. And due to ignorance, we have accepted different bodies. The body of a virus sometime the body of a human being, sometime the body of a demigod, sometime the body of a sage, sometime the body of the animal. But these are all upadhis. Means these are all impositions on the spirit soul. And how these impositions are there? These impositions are there by Maya. So the Mayavadis argue that all these impositions are simply false. Jagat Mithya. They say that there is no substance to these impositions. They are simply false because mind is false. All the three states of consciousness, namely the Jagat, the Jagrata, the Swapna and Sushupti, they are all false. They just don't exist. What exists is simply Brahman. And that Brahman is pure consciousness or Turiya or pure consciousness. So when one understands that I am not this mind, I am not this body, one simply becomes Brahman and he simply experiences the bliss of inactivity. But this is also false because inactivity is not the truth. Inactivity is not ultimate. The soul by nature is active. Simply the activity is reflected in the wrong platform. And because the activity is reflected in the wrong platform, just like the reflection of the moon is seen on the water, it takes the quality of the water. The quality of the water is to actually move. The quality of the water is to actually tremble. The quality of the water is to actually create waves. But the quality of moon is that it is solid. It does not have the quality to tremble, nor does it have the quality to create waves. But when the reflection of the moon is seen in water, the moon actually takes the quality of the water. Then that reflection actually moves. It trembles. Sometimes the reflection is not even seen when the water is completely disturbed. One cannot even see the reflection. One can only see some sparkles of that reflection, which could be moon. So same way, when the consciousness of the jiva, the original pure consciousness of the jiva is reflected on the material medium, then that consciousness takes the quality of the material medium. But that doesn't mean that just because the activities are there in the material medium, the original consciousness does not have activities. This is what Mayavadis think, that because there is activities in the material medium, because the mental activities, the manasa vritti, or the activities of the mind are the cause of bondage, in the state of liberation, there should be no activity, because activity means bondage, liberation means no activity. But what they do not understand is that in the state of liberation, there are liberated activities, and those liberated activities are called Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada says that in this lifetime, we could actually attain that stage of liberation by taking up the activities of Krishna consciousness. One should actually accept a spiritual master. It was explained in the previous verse, Prabhupada explained that by accepting a spiritual master, one should accept the activities of the liberated soul, or one should accept the activities which are permanent to his nature. So when one has the good fortune of accepting a spiritual master, one is immediately placed in his constitutional position, because sooner or later he will realize the position. But in the stage of sadhana, even though one is placed in his constitutional position, because of his deep conditioning, he is unable to understand, oh, this is my constitutional position, this is what I am supposed to do, this is what I am supposed to act. But he simply acts because he has reverence to scripture and spiritual master. Nonetheless, those activities are the activities which actually correspond to his constitutional position. Therefore, from the time the jiva accepts the spiritual master, he is directly placed in his constitutional position, as long as he fully accepts the instruction of the spiritual master as his life and soul. Then, by the mercy of the Lord, Asesha Sanklesha Samam Vidatte Gunanuvada Shravanam Murare, it said that by the mercy of the Lord, by chanting of the holy name, by accepting the instructions of the spiritual master, then all the miseries which are arisen due to the identification with the body and the mind, the gross body and the subtle mind, all the miseries which have arisen, they start going away. Asesha Sanklesha Samam Vidatte. That all these innumerable miseries, they start going away, because one understands that I have nothing to do with this body and I have nothing to do with this mind, and I can utilize them simply to serve Krishna and to actually experience my transcendental position. So when one comes to that understanding, then Maitreya Muni says, Kimva punattak charanaravindha paraga seva ratiratma labdha. That attraction to serve the Lord becomes one's own. It becomes atma labdha. It becomes one's own. He has the natural attraction to serve the Lord. And when he develops that natural attraction to serve the Lord, then that is considered his constitutional position. In that constitutional position, one is able to understand that I am not this body, I am a spirit soul. He realizes completely that this whole material world or this whole material creation is simply the mercy of Krishna in order to make me understand that I am the servant of Krishna. So the whole material creation, which was tapakari, which was burning him, which was giving so much of trouble, which was actually the source of his misery, it completely turns into haladini. So he starts saying, or he starts experiencing the creation as Krishna's, as expression of Krishna's love. So that's why then it is said, Vishwam Purna Sukayate, that this whole creation, wherever he sees, he simply sees Krishna, Stavara Jangama Deke Tara Murti, that he sees only Krishna, he sees only Krishna's energy, he sees only Krishna's love. So every moment he is actually feeling this separation from Krishna. Yugayidam nimeshena chakshusha pravrashaitam shunyayitam jagat sarvam govinda virahename. So he starts seeing, oh, this tree is Krishna's mercy. Oh, these plants, this building, these different bodies, everything is Krishna's mercy. And how foolish I am that I am separated from Krishna's mercy. I am thinking that this is body, this is me, this is mind, this is me, I can enjoy this body, I can enjoy this mind. Or sometimes I am lamenting that why I cannot enjoy this body, why I cannot enjoy this mind. Sochati Kankshati. That sometime he is thinking that I need this, I need that. Or sometimes he is so envious, oh, my neighbor has this, my neighbor has that, I don't have it. I don't have that. He has a bigger car than me. He has a better house than me. Why? I don't have a better house. Why do I don't have a bigger car? So God's mercy is not there on me. So God's mercy or Krishna's mercy is simply misunderstood as bestowing dharma, artha, kama and moksha. But the beginning of Bhagavatam very clearly rejects all the four. Dharma projito kaitavo atra. So this cheating understanding of what is Lord's mercy is rejected. So in order to come to that stage, here Prabhupada says that the stage is attained after accumulating pious activities for many lives, and then immediately he quotes Janma Koti Sukrudair na labhyate. So these pious activities simply means activities of devotional service which are unknowingly performed. This is called Agyata Sukruti. that there are activities of devotional service which are unknowingly performed. So this is Krishna's unlimited mercy, that when one performs devotional service knowingly, that's different. But even when performs devotional service unknowingly, Krishna immediately as super soul, he notes, oh, this person has done some devotional service. Like for example, if a person sees a devotee and then somehow he becomes happy and then he smiles without even knowing that he is a devotee, that he simply smiled at him because he felt that, oh, this guy looks very blissful, he is always smiling, because devotees are blissful, they are always smiling. So it is always natural for some other person to see, and then they smile, so he smiles at the devotee, and then Krishna, oh, you are very happy seeing my devotee, so his devotional service has started. So this way, by simple activities, by very simple activities, by seeing the deity, by smelling the flower, by smelling the incense, by paying obeisance to the deity, even though he may not be a devotee, he may not be Krishna conscious, he may not even understand that he is doing these things as activities of devotional service. That's why temples are so important, because temples give so much of opportunity for those who are not Krishna conscious to actually do activities of devotional service, whether they consciously do it, or whether they do it ritualistically, or whether they do it as a matter of duty, or whether they do it for some gain. I need this, so let me do this. But ultimately, they all do devotional service. And that pushes them to have some faith at one point. When it becomes so strong, then they develop their faith in the association of devotees. Then they come to the association of devotees. Then one becomes very fortunate. Because in the association of devotees, one understands that I should accept a spiritual master. I should understand that I am not this body, I am a spirit soul, I am the servant of Krishna, I should serve him nicely, and by serving him nicely I can go back home, back to Godhead. So Prabhupada says, in one birth, one should rectify everything and come to permanent life. This Krishna conscious movement want to stop Koti Janma, repeated birth and death. So it is very clear that this is what Prabhupada wants from us, the followers of Prabhupada. This is very, very clear statement Prabhupada says. This is the mission statement of Prabhupada. That Prabhupada says that we have to stop. So first of all, we have to stop ourselves, and then we have to help others to stop. But because if we don't stop ourselves, there is no question of helping others to stop. Because if we have to present the philosophy of Krishna consciousness with conviction, first of all, we should be convinced. Yes, Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yes, I am servant of Krishna. Yes, I should accept a spiritual master. Yes, the activities of Krishna consciousness are the eternal activities of the jiva. One should be convinced fully that this is truth, and there is no truth which is higher than this. Mattaha parataram nanyat kinchitasti dhananjaya mayi sarvamidam protam shutte maniganaiva. That there is no truth which is higher than Krishna, and there is no truth which is higher than dependence on Krishna. Yesterday I was taking a class to devotees from Krishna Katha days, and we were discussing the purports of Vyasa Narada Samvad, the conversation between Narada and Vyasa. And in the concluding purport of the 6th chapter, Prabhupada writes very interesting purport. We are reading that purport. Prabhupada writes that I can pick up that purport, we can read, it's a very nice purport. Prabhupada actually writes the nature of devotional service, saying that devotional service is free. He says that Narad Muni is free, he cannot be controlled, he goes all over the place, and then he travels. It's a very nice purport. Give me a minute, I will just pick up. So it shows the transcendental nature of devotional service. And Prabhupada also writes a very important point in that purport, because in that purport Prabhupada says that surrender to spiritual master means freedom, because normally in the material world the word surrender, it looks very bad because we use it in a certain context, that in a war the two countries are fighting and then one country surrenders to another country, which means that the country has lost its freedom, or the country has lost its prestige, or the country has lost its power. So in the material world, the word surrender is always used in a very derogatory context. But actually, surrender to the spiritual master means the passport for true freedom. Prabhupada writes that. So Prabhupada says that a conditioned soul cannot freely move from one place to another place, even on this earth. What to speak of one planet to another? So this is very apt now. This statement is very, very apt now because the whole world is in lockdown and the government is saying, just stay in your place, don't move anywhere, don't come out, don't go to this place, don't go to that place. People are getting mad. They are saying, oh, we want to move, we want to go here, we want to go there. Better we will die, but we cannot stay at home. We have to go to shopping mall. We have to shop. If we don't shop, we will die. I was other day watching one video in America. People are abusing the leaders, saying that, oh, we are born in freedom. You leaders, you want to control our freedom by putting lockdown. Now, we will put you in jail. Why are you putting us in lockdown? So, there is so much restriction for the conditioned soul to move in this, even on this earth. Prabhupada says that. But a full-fledged free soul like Narada, always engaged in chanting the Lord's glories, is free to move not only on earth but also on any part of the universe as well as any part of the spiritual sky. We can just imagine the extent of unlimitedness of his freedom, which is as good as that of the Supreme Lord. There is no reason or obligation for his traveling, and no one can stop him from his free movement. Similarly, the transcendental system of devotional service is also free. It may or may not develop in a particular person even after he undergoes all detailed formulas. Similarly, the association of devotee is also free. One may be fortunate to have it or one may not have it even after thousands of endeavors. Therefore, in all spheres of devotional service, freedom is the main pivot. Without freedom, there is no execution of devotional service. The freedom surrendered to the Lord does not mean that devotee becomes dependent in every respect. To surrender unto the Lord through the transparent medium of the spiritual master is to obtain complete freedom of life. This is what Prabhupada states, that if one wants to attain complete freedom of life, then one should surrender to the spiritual master. It's a very interesting concept. Here, Brahma is experiencing this lack of freedom or lack of movement or lack of his ability to fully act in his powers, because he went and tested his powers in the wrong place, which is Krishna. And then Krishna is very kindly putting him into difficulty so that he understands that there is actually no freedom in this material world. The real freedom is to actually awaken to Krishna consciousness. The real freedom is to actually awaken into Krishna consciousness. So Brahma is being awakened by Krishna into that freedom by lifting the cover of Yogamaya, and Brahma is able to see that what is his mistake, what is his problem, that why this happened. He is able to see everything, and then he is going to surrender to Krishna. In the next chapter, he is going to chant some very beautiful prayers in the next chapter, and then express his surrender, which is the real path for freedom. And Prabhupada is saying that we need to take that path and we need to be free in this lifetime. Everybody in this world is crying for freedom. The countries are crying for freedom. There are individuals who are crying for freedom. Then there are different social movements which are crying for freedom. There is a big movement happening in the West now. It's called Black Lives Matters, because one black person was shot dead by a white policeman in America. It became a big problem, and now there's a huge amount of movement which is happening that saying that Black Life Matters. And then there is so much of awareness being created that it's also funny that how these things happen. There's so much of the so-called social impact on this. There is a very famous brand of fairness cream in India, which was called Fair and Lovely. So that throughout all these years, that cream has been promoting that, oh, if you are fair, you are beautiful. Now that cream, because of this Black Lives Matters movement, has changed its name from Fair and Lovely to Glow and Lovely. So they changed the name. So anything for business that they will do, the social value system or whatever, narration, etc., everything changes according to what is current in the society. So whatever sells is what matters. But Prabhupada is talking about real freedom, because every life matters. Not only black life matters. What about the life of thousands of cows which are being slaughtered? What about the life of thousands of chicken which are being slaughtered? Or what about the life of thousands of fish which is being killed? Every life matters, because life or Atma is very precious, is very, very precious. So because we don't understand this, then we start differentiating, saying black life, white life, cow life, chicken life and fish life, and all these different differentiations come. But the real freedom from all these differentiations, the real freedom to understand that every life matters, the real freedom to understand that what is right and what is wrong comes from the surrender to the spiritual master. And Brahma is going to experience that surrender, and he is going to, by the mercy of the Lord, he is going to actually understand what is the truth, and he will very elaborately explain the truth in his prayers. So we'll wait for that. We'll stop here. See if there's any comments from the August Assembly, or there are any questions on the social media. I'll repeat the question, Maharaj. Yeah, definitely they don't go back to Godhead, because okay. So Maharaj's question was that when people do devotional service with different motives, sometimes in mode of goodness or mode of passion or mode of ignorance, what result do they get from that? Do they definitely they don't go back to Godhead? Do they? That was the question. Maharaj himself answered the question. He said they don't go back to Godhead. But they get some good result for devotional service, because Krishna says in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita that one who has done good, he will not suffer. He will not be bereft of the results of material activities. And also in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, also it is said, Vedeshu yaggeshu tapassu chaiva daneshu yat punyaphalam pratishtam atyeti yat sarvam idam viditva yogi paramsthanam upaidhi chadyam. So in the when we combine the 6th chapter and 8th chapter, we can see that they would get some good
What was the translation for that verse?
that whatever one would get by performing the austerities of Vedas, by the sacrifices, Vedeshu Yajneshu, by performing different austerities, which is tapasya, and by giving charity, dhaneshu, yet punya phalam pratishtam. Whatever is the pious activities one would get, or pious results one would get, atyeti yet sarvam idam viditva. By performing devotional service, one would get all that. And then yogi paramsthanam upaidhi chadyam. The yogi or the devotee, he will also go back home, back to Godhead. But of course, that actually refers to a pure devotee. But the first two lines, it actually explains that, and also in the 6th chapter, Prabhupada explains that, that an unfinished yogi who is not perfected his devotional service, he would get the results of pious activities. He would either they will go to Swargaloka and then they will enjoy, and then they will come back, they will be born in rich families, or they will be born in pious families, according to the length of their engagement in devotional service. That if they are engaged for a long time, then they will be born in the family of yogis. So all these things, it is said that that would happen for an unfinished yogi. The same mood is also reflected by Narad Muni when he says that what is the use of doing the activities of Varnashrama perfectly? There is no use. But even if one does devotional service imperfectly, what is the loss? There is no loss in doing the devotional service imperfectly. There is absolutely no loss. What is the loss? He asked that atapate tato yedi. Even if he falls down, what is the loss? But if he does the activities of Varnashrama perfectly, and then he does not develop devotional service, what is the gain? So, activities of devotional service, and also Krishna says, Neha vikramna sosti pratyavayona vidyate solpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. So, if we actually combine all these different shlokas, we can see that there are twofold effects of mixed devotional service. The one effect of mixed devotional service is that one would get some pious enjoyment, whatever is meant for pious people, which is unfortunate, because the devotional service has the ability to take us beyond piety and impiety. But at least he gets some pious enjoyment. This is number one. And number two, whatever devotional service he did, that is not lost. So which means that when he does that pious enjoyment and when he does come back, then he has the opportunity to start from where he left. If it is mode of ignorance, at least he could go to mode of passion, and then mode of goodness, and then he could become transcendental. So that opportunity of having the permanent asset of devotional service is always there. Having said that, Prabhupada says that one should at least come to the state of Madhyamadhikari. In Nectar of Instruction, Prabhupada says that one should at least raise oneself to the level of Madhyamadhikari, because when one does devotional service in mode of ignorance and mode of passion, then there is always this this danger of doing Vaishnava aparadh, offense. I was very fortunate to be taught Kapila Siksha by yourself. You taught us Kapila Siksha. I don't know if you remember or not. But there very nicely Kapila Dev explains the three qualities of devotional service in mode of passion, and the three qualities of devotional service in mode of ignorance. In mode of passion, the devotee becomes envious. In mode of ignorance, the devotee becomes envious. He is angry. He is violent. So, same way in mode of passion, he is looking for some enjoyment. He is looking for some name, fame, etc. So, these kind of underlying influence of the modes, it makes a devotee very susceptible to do offense. Just like Daksha. He was very offensive to Lord Shiva, and because of his offense to Lord Shiva, he lost his position, he lost his head, he lost everything whatever he had. He had to accept the head of a goat, and then that is not a very pleasant situation to have the head of a goat, being Daksha, the great man, the most expert in sex life, and the person who wants to the very powerful Prajapati who wants to increase the population like anything, to have a head of a goat is not very pleasant. But that's what he ended up with, that he had the head of a goat. Then later he had to be born for Prechatas to take a new body and then continue his business. So we can see that, that there is some inbuilt danger in this kind of devotional service, which is the susceptibility to do offense, that they can become offensive to devotees. And as long as the moment they become offensive, then it becomes a whole different situation, because Vaishnava Paradis has the ability to destroy devotional service. It is like Hatimata, is like the offense of mad elephant. So because of that susceptibility to do offense, then this mixture of modes are very, very dangerous. Devotees should very quickly come out of this mixture of these modes, especially mode of passion and mode of ignorance. Devotees should very quickly come out of this susceptibility to be in the modes while doing devotional service. And by good association, definitely one can come out. One should come to mode of goodness. And Prabhupada says in the preface to Nectar of Instruction, that when one comes to mode of goodness, then only how to make further progress will get revealed. So that's an important thing. It's not a matter of choice, that okay, I can be in mode of ignorance, I can be in mode of passion, anyway I am doing devotional service, what is the problem? I am chanting my 16 rounds, I am trying to follow 4 regulative principles. If I am in ignorance, what is so great? I will still go back to Godhead. No, there is a problem, because coming to mode of goodness is just a basic requirement for devotional service, because devotional service, which is transcendental to 3 modes, is not the highest experience of devotional service. Rather, it is the beginning of devotional service. That one becomes a Madhyamadhikari, one begins devotional service. It's not that one actually has attained the great state by becoming a Madhyamadhikari or by transcending the 3 modes. So transcending the 3 modes is considered as the basic requirement for performing some serious devotional service. That then one is performing some serious devotional service. Then there is Nishtha, there is Ruchi, there is Asakti, then there is Bhava, and then there is Prema, and then there are other gradations within the Prema itself. So when we compare that, to be situated as Madhyamadhikari means to gain entrance to devotional service in one sense. So that's why in the shloka of Satam Prasangan Mamavirya Samvido, the word Shraddha is meant as Nishtha, or devotional service which is not disturbed by anarthas. And then there is Rati, and then there is Bhakti. So Bhakti is actually starting at the stage of Bhava. Shraddha, Ratir, Bhaktir, Anukramishati. The real Bhakti is actually starting at the stage of Bhava. So that means there is some good distance to cover in the process. And the most beautiful thing is that Prabhupada says that in one birth it is possible. So that's the hope. When Prabhupada says that one birth it is possible, that by keeping faith in Srila Prabhupada and then following his instructions sincerely, at least one would hope that Prabhupada opened the back door, if not for the front door, for people like us. For people like you, the front door; for people like us, back door. Some hope somewhere. I don't know, Maharaj, it's okay. Or you want to add some comments, Maharaj? Do you want to add some comments? So, thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu, for a wonderful class. So many wonderful points. I love how you hammered in the very beginning, we don't have to be afraid of dying because we don't actually die. Very pertinent these days. And I also appreciated Krita Punya Punja. You said this isn't actually pious activities, but you said Agyata Sukriti, the unknown performance of devotional acts. Are you familiar with the verse from the Chaitanya Charitamrita that he quotes in the very next line?
Yeah, it says, this is the last line, no? Janma koti sukrite na labhyate is the last line.
Yeah, do you know that verse?
Yeah, it says, Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita Madi Kutasto Tatra Laulyam Api Mulyam Ekalam Janma koti sukrite na labhyate. That's the verse. That the Krishna consciousness, it should be obtained by paying whatever price one has to obtain. One should obtain Krishna consciousness. It cannot be obtained by millions of lives of pious activity. The price to pay is the greed to obtain that Krishna consciousness. That's the...
Thank you. It's such a beautiful verse. I just wanted to hear you say it for our benefit. Can't be had with millions of births of pious activity only by greed, the intense desire to have it. And if you can find it anywhere, go beg, borrow, or steal that Krishna prema. In that purport to collaborate what you just got through saying, the understanding the importance of advancing in Krishna consciousness, the purport to that verse, Srila Prabhupada said that the result of sadhana bhakti must be Krishna prema. So that's the goal. We should never lose sight of, with the assistance, instructions, and mercy of our spiritual master.
Yes, yes. The very definition of sadhana bhakti actually says that. It says that Kriti Sadhya Bhavet Sadhya Sabhakti Sadhana Vida Nitya Siddhasya Bhavasya Prakatyam Iti Sadhyata. It says that sadhya of sadhana bhakti is the arising of the Nitya Siddha Bhava. So, by very definition, Rupa Goswami says that the purpose of sadhana bhakti is to arise the Nitya Siddha Bhava. So, it's a very important point which you brought up, because I have seen in my own life that coming to Krishna consciousness, in the beginning of Krishna consciousness, is all very nice. There's a lot of enthusiasm to do so many things, and then we think that, oh, now I'm Krishna conscious, I'll change the whole world, I'll do this, I'll do that. And then as time goes by, we tend to forget that why we came to Krishna consciousness, why we actually, or at least I'm talking about myself, I tend to forget that why I came to Krishna consciousness, why I'm doing all these things, why I'm engaged in different services, why I've been given different responsibilities, and sometimes it can be very confusing, and it can, the activities of doing different things in Krishna consciousness and dealing with different problems in the material world while doing those things in Krishna consciousness can easily make people like me to forget the actual goal, that why we came to Krishna consciousness. So it's a very good reminder that ultimately we came to Krishna consciousness not to be in some position, or not to have some name or fame or power or some influence or anything. Ultimately we came to Krishna consciousness because we want to become lovers of Krishna. So in the process of doing that, if that is forgotten, then everything is lost. So that's a very good reminder to have always. Thank you for bringing up the point. Okay, I think we should stop. Yeah. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, obeisances unto you. A person from baby become youth and then become old. How this body is changing, and then when it's taking birth, the child is more painful or the mother is more painful, and why? From Sitala Devi Dasi.
So how the body is changing? Because the very nature of material world is to change. The nature of matter is to change. Matter means that it has to go through Shadvihara, the 6 type of changes. That is the very nature of matter. Just like the nature of fire is to burn. One cannot ask how the fire is burning, because that is the very nature of fire. That fire means it will burn. If it doesn't burn, it is not called fire. Same way, the very nature of matter is to change. So if it doesn't change, it is not matter, then it becomes spirit, because the nature of spirit is not to change. So because the spirit accepts matter, then the spirit enlivens the matter which is this body. This body is just a lump of matter. The spirit enlivens the matter. And then the baby is doing quang, quang, whatever it is. And then the baby is enlivened as matter. But because the very nature of matter is to change, so then the baby becomes a boy, then he becomes youth. And then the very nature of matter is also to dwindle, to produce some byproducts. So there is some sex life, so then some children are produced, and then it dwindles, then it actually is destroyed. So the body is destroyed. Then the people say, oh, he died. He lived, he died. So they say, but that's the very nature of matter. So by accepting the nature of matter as its nature, the spirit causes the body to go through the changes of matter. Is it clear? Yeah. So then the second question, that whether the mother experiences more pain or the child experiences more pain, the question is that it is not a competition that who experiences more pain or who experiences less pain. The idea is that the whole material life is painful. It's not like, I experience more pain, so I am great, or I experience less pain, so I am great. Sometimes the spirit soul takes the position of mother, sometimes the spirit soul takes the position of father, sometimes the spirit, and every time the spirit soul is born as a child. So from beginning to end, whatever body the spirit soul accepts, he simply accepts pain. So why to start analyzing is this pain more or that pain more? The pain of being separated from Krishna is the greatest pain the jiva actually can suffer, and that pain is represented by this material body. So that pain should be experienced. That pain of separation from Krishna, that is a pain which should be experienced. I was quoting from Shikshashtakam, Yugayudam nimeshena chakshusha pravrashayitam shunyayitam jagat sarvam govinda virahena me. That pain should be experienced. And the experience of that pain within this material world is the greatest form of bliss. That when the jiva is able to experience that pain of separation from Krishna, that I am separated from this person who is my greatest well-wisher, who is my greatest lover, that the person who can fully satisfy me, Rasovai Saha, the person who can fully satisfy me, I am separated from him. When we can experience that pain, then all the good fortune of the jiva arises immediately. So to understand, one should understand that irrespective of whatever is the pain, all the pains of this material world has been experienced. In this lifetime, one may have the body of a woman and then experience the pain of delivering a child. But in another lifetime, the so-called man will accept the body of a woman, and he will also experience, or he or she will also experience the pain. All these pains of this material world has been continuously experienced by us in one form or other, and enough of experiencing this pain. Let us think of experiencing pleasure and freedom by chanting the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, we should stop here. Too much time, 10 minutes gone. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagvatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande.